What's up, y'all? It's your man ES the Hermit Star back again with another video, and I'm here to do the tarot forecast for the week of July 14th through July 20th for the sign of Capricorn. So if you have Capricorn in your chart, sun, moon, or rising, this is for you. What's happening, my fabulous Caps, fabulous Capricorns? I did the, I'm going to call it a live stream, but it really wasn't a live stream because I didn't have the time to do it. But I did all signs reading for the Capricorn full moon that was on the 10th. So 3 days ago from when I am recorded this. And yeah, if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Of course, you are definitely one of the signs, all signs, so you're definitely one of the signs I gotta read. Timestamps have been updated, both in the description and the pinned comment of that video, so you're able to watch for your sun, moon, rising, any other sign that you would like to watch for. So, yeah, greatly appreciate that. If you decide to go over there, check that out, and yeah, support that video like you're supporting this, hitting that like, sharing the video, subscribing if you're not, and continuing to watch. So, all right, we start off with the Queen of Swords here, which is good to see in this position, you know, setting boundaries, being clear cut with those boundaries as well, and just letting folks know, you know, what's up. I do see, you know, a bit of, you know, honestly, I don't think much of what I'm seeing here is that bad per se. You know, it could be a situation where you set a boundaries, or you set your boundaries, and you know, some people, just like many times when we set boundaries, you have folks who react, let's just say, unpleasant to the said boundaries, or people start to get weird, you know, in a way, right? Where it's like, it's that middle ground where it's like you can tell that they are kind of upset that you have boundaries, but they also don't want to make their disdain be known because, well, they don't want to get hit with that sword that the queen is holding, but also they either just want to stay in your life, right? They want to keep you in their life and stuff like that. But you can tell it's not a situation to where it's totally like them holding themselves accountable and saying, I messed up, I crossed the boundaries, I apologize. It's more so of, I don't like that you got this boundary, but I'm also not going to say that because, again, I don't want any repercussions, whatever those repercussions may be, if I vocalize my disdain. So I'm just going to pretend like I am, you know, or I'm going to walk on eggshells essentially, or even pretend like they respect your they truly respect your boundaries, right? Or if they do respect your boundaries, they're not going to do it because it's the right thing to do. They're going to do it because, again, they don't want to face any repercussions. You know, that's the vibe I'm getting here. I'll get to why I'm saying all of that with the next card, especially the rest of your cards, really. But we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So this is someone who is healing from a loss. You know, when it's like this is someone who's been outcasted and things of that nature. But right here, I feel like you're in this, like, you're in this mood of, or this mode of like, hey, listen, I got boundaries, I set them, and if you don't like it, fuck off. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real, you know? You're like, you know, it is what it is. Kick rocks if you don't like them, right? And there may have been a time where you felt you felt the outcasting because you let your boundaries be clear, right? And the folks didn't like it. But now you're in this mode of, I'm not going to apologize for having boundaries. I'm not going to be made to feel bad for expressing and having boundaries. If you don't like it, you know, it is what it is. I guess we just aren't meant to be, you know, connected. So, you know, this is great to see right here. You know, I like that, you know. Maybe these boundaries have to do with money. You do have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. It's not often I see this in reverse, by the way. A lot of the times when I do see this, it's upright, but can't say it's always going to show upright. But this is neglected goals. This is impatience as well. So maybe it's a reminder from the universe that you got some goals. Like, you don't have time to be focusing on people who don't respect your boundaries. These people may have been family, right? You may have been in some type of communion with people. Again, when you look at that Five of Pentacles, this is a church. So when you think about church, you think about, again, community, even family, even, right? Whatever you think about people coming together, right? And this could be a situation where it literally happened at your church, where you let it be known you have boundaries. I went through a situation like this a couple years ago at my church, a former church, let me put it that way, where I let it be known I got boundaries. And again, people were acting weird. Some people were cool with it. Like, some people actually were like genuinely fine and happy that I made my bound, like I spoke up and defended myself. Others, you can tell, weren't necessarily happy, but they didn't necessarily want to say that they weren't happy because, again, they didn't want to face the repercussions. And then others just let it be known that they weren't happy. Nonetheless, like, I totally get this feeling of, there were moments where I felt bad, where I was like, maybe I was too harsh, and maybe I could have, kept quiet to keep the peace. But doing that was only disturbing the peace within me, keeping the peace for everybody else, and again, there were people who were like, we're glad that we want you to be happy. So of course we want you to state your claim and speak your mind and defend yourself. But as far as the Seven of Pentacles go, again, we're not talking about me. We're talking about you, Cap. I apologize. I feel like you've been reflecting too much you spending too much time. Now, again, the Five of Pentacles is you healing from that loss, which is good, but you're still, in a way, kind of reflecting or spending too much time on some folks, or even people, or somebody, or some people who honestly are just taking away time and mental and physical focus on things that you need to focus on. Either your finances, goals that you have. Like, these things deserve your emotional and physical equity more than people who cannot respect your boundaries. So just keep that in mind. Your last card is the Five. I got another Fives card, the Five of Swords in reverse. This is recognition. This is also the card of compromise as well. Did I say recognition? I meant reconciliation. But maybe you'll be recognized by some folks at the church, or, some folks be recognized as someone not to fuck with, or someone who can stand up for yourself. But this is the card of reconciliation. So it does seem as though that, I'm not, predicting anything, but maybe it's if it's not a reconciliation with some folks who have crossed boundaries, or, if it's not a reconciliation with them, it's more so a reconciliation with yourself, and understanding that your feelings matter too. Your boundaries matter too. So I think it's, I kind of think it's more so that than the former, but it could be that. It could be both. It could be where, again, you have some folks from this church, right? This gathering of some sort, right? Doesn't physically have to be a church. I'm only mentioning that because, again, this is a church, but it could be a situation where wherever, church, work, whatever the case is, right, you reconcile with the folks that you felt had crossed those boundaries, which is good. But it could be that, but it could also be at the same time you reconciling with yourself and being able to say, well, I forgive myself for allowing it to happen. Because ultimately, when people cross our boundaries, we allow it. We don't. That's not something a lot of people want to admit to it, but we allowed it to happen. If someone said something or did something and you didn't speak up about it, that's you allowing it. I'm not saying that you wanted it to happen. That's something that you want to happen on a daily. I'm just simply saying that you not speaking up whenever a boundary is crossed is you allowing it. Now that you acknowledge that, or if you can acknowledge that, now you can understand that whenever it happens, because people are boundary crossers, so it's going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? So when it happens again, just understand that if you don't want to allow it, you have to do the different, you have to behave differently than what you did in the past that allowed the boundaries to be crossed. Okay? Hopefully you got something of value with the tarot, but yeah, you know, I do like, for the most part, I do like your message here, Capricorn. So that is the tarot. We're about to get into the oracle card right now, or oracle cards, as you've gotten two that jumped out. Before I read them to you, I would like to remind you to please hit that like, comment, share, and subscribe. And make sure you're watching if you're going to subscribe. All right? All right. So your first card is Harmony Scale. All right. Embrace equality and pursue justice, harmonizing the energies to manifest a balanced and just outcome. And you do that by, again, speaking up for yourself, setting those boundaries, as the Queen of Swords is telling you to do, right? That's how you balance things out, you know? That's one way of doing it, at least. And your next card is Connections Guide. I never got this card before. Shout out to the sister. I had to look real close. I think that's a woman. But shout out to the sister with the afro in the back. All right, I see you. Connections Guide. Harness the power of networks. Cultivate meaningful relationships, that's important, and strategize your path to success. So, yeah, you know, I do like this. It's definitely a message of not shying away from people because you may have been in, you know, communion with people, whether it's at church or whatever, that cross boundaries. That's definitely not how everybody operates. Find people who, again, are going to, you know, make you feel good, respect you, you respect them as well. And of course, as the card Harmonies Call is stating, and as the Queen of Swords here is stating as well, when there are times where your boundary is crossed, just let it be known, hey, that's a boundary, you just crossed it. Okay? You can use those exact words or say it in a way that you feel is more comfortable for you. But that's what I have for you today, Capricorn, this week. And yeah, if you got anything of value from this reading, please hit that like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you're watching the videos if you're going to subscribe. All right. And yeah, I want to thank you for trusting me for being your intuitive reader for today, or at least one of your intuitive readers for today. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And until next time, until next video, you see me when you see me. Take care.